Hi, welcome to Gotta Ping, a careers podcast you should listen to if you want to grow your career online and offline. Hi, my name is MEI PHING, and I'm a professional career coach and international speaker with more than a decade of experience at some of the biggest companies in the world. To learn more about what I do, visit meiping.com. That's MEIPHING.com. Alright, let's jump right into today's episode. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Your Career Online Offline podcast. This is MEI PHING. Today, I have a very interesting topic that I want to talk about, and I'm sure every single person listening to today's episode can really resonate. The question is this: should you be friends with your boss? And by boss, I mean your direct manager, your line manager, your reporting manager, basically that person that fills up that performance review at the end of the year for you. So, should you be friends with your boss? So, this was a question that popped up quite recently. One of my clients she has been working for about 6 months now, and she recently moved to a new company. And in this new company, she feels the pressure to be friends with her boss. So she asked me this question, oh, MEI PHING, what do you think? Do you think I should be friends with my boss? I feel slightly uncomfortable, but should I do it? Because I'm being told that this is really important for my career advancement. So it's a really good question. And I think I want to also share another story of another similar, a client in a similar situation where her boss was a good friend. I guess when she joined the company, she was reporting to another manager, but due to internal restructuring, her good friend eventually became her boss. So that was a very complicated situation because she found herself unable to tell apart the working relationship versus the friendship, which is obviously pretty tricky. So then begs the question of how friendly is friendly, and do we even need to be friends with our boss and our colleagues to advance in our career? So, over the years I've spent in the corporate world, I have seen both sides of the story. I have seen friends, colleagues turned friends, who were able to sort everything out. They were extremely productive, no impact on their working relationship whatsoever. However, I have also seen situations where, because the boss and the staff are friends, in some instances, the employee, the staff, maybe that person is you, may feel under pressure to go the extra mile. And not just one time, but every single time to go the extra mile to help a friend. So that can be a very tricky situation. And for some instances that I've heard, the relationship could turn toxic. And maybe at the end of the day, you might even lose this friend, right? So, what then is the better way? Is it worth it to be friends for career progression, or is it enough to just be friendly as long as you can get your job well done? So, personally, for me, the approach that I took for many years in the corporate world is to be friendly and professional, but to draw the line between personal friends and very, very friendly and supportive colleagues. So the line might sound very gray, but there is a big difference, at least from a mental and emotional point of view, why these are exactly not the same things. Because at the end of the day, like when you work in a 9 to 5 job, you work in a company, your number one priority is to deliver your performance goals, right? To support the company's goals. That is the number one priority. And every single person that's hired, me, you, somebody else, we have very clear KPIs, objectives, and goals that you need to deliver. Right? Friendship can happen like outside the 9 to 5 for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for you know, friends that you make from the workplace. And I'm sure there are many long-lasting friendships as well. But if you're not cautious of the potential impact when something blows up, it may not be so easy to get out of the situation, if you get what I mean. And that is something that could be very tricky. And eventually, if you fall in that situation, it might come to a unfortunate situation where you may need to let go of that friendship, which then defeats the entire purpose of wanting to work with your friend. So I think my advice here is be friendly, but always remember that your performance goals, like your work objectives, comes first, because that's what you have signed up for. When you join the company, when you join the team, when you choose to work with a boss, I think that is the number one priority that you need to think about. And of course, right, outside of that, if we all could get along, different things, of course, for sure, right? Outside of working hours, definitely. But I think never see these two things as the same thing, because I think the repercussions could be a big one. And the worst still, it could be things that you cannot get out from, which is also very tricky. So now the next question I always tend to get asked is, okay, but like maybe when you say friendly, like what does friendly mean? Like friendly means that we have to go for like dinner all the time, or I need to buy coffee for my boss. Like what does friendly actually mean? So friendly, obviously, it depends on like your communication style, it depends on your networking style, but I think it's really that mentality, it's really that mindset that matters the most. So when you are in a conversation with your boss, when you are making jokes, when you are networking, chit chatting, always remember that, hey, this person is my boss. I think that is the best frame of mind that I can share with you if you want to be able to draw the distinction, because it is almost impossible to name like the 10,000 scenarios that could potentially happen on like what's friendly and what's not friendly. But I think that should be the frame of mind that you apply when, like I said, you're having a conversation, you're having a chit chat, you're networking or whatever. That should be the frame of mind that you're applying before deciding if like how much is too much, right? How does this affect your work? How does it affect your objectives? How does it affect your performance goals? And make sure that the line is there. So that's why friends versus friendly, it sounds very similar, but it's not exactly the same thing. And of course, right, if you choose to leave the company after that, obviously, you can become friends. And personally, for me, I'm also in touch with a lot of my ex-bosses, and we check in with each other from time to time. And that's when, okay, yeah, maybe I learn a little bit more personal about their life and their family and all those things. But when I was in the role, the conversations, like 80-90% of the time, is strictly focused on the task at hand, the objective, the projects, the engagements, and so forth. Because I think once you muddle everything together, then, like I said, you might fall in a situation where it gets tricky to say no to a friend. And I'm sure you all can resonate. Like, when was the last time you had to say no to a good friend? I'm sure it felt really uncomfortable, and you don't want to have this sort of like emotional barrier when you are working on very important priorities and really focusing on your goals. And now you want to like cater to different dimensions of that relationship with your boss. And yeah, basically I have seen many situations of such relationships not work out. So just some food for thought. I'm not saying like it's a yes or a no, but just some food for thought for those of you who are extremely friendly, those of you who could really get along very well. I think just make sure that it doesn't impact your work. And if everything is clear, the boundaries are set, then you shouldn't have a problem. So with that, I will leave you all with a question to ponder on whether you would consider your boss a friend, or you feel that the current friendly attitude that you have towards your boss is good enough. So with that, I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode. For more awesome content like this, remember to like and subscribe. Also, Head on over to my website, meiping.com, that's MEIPHING.com, and subscribe to my weekly newsletter for more career growth and personal development tips. You can find the links in the description box below. Once again, you're listening to Got a Ping, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!